All leading begins with leading ourselves. If we cannot lead ourselves, how is it possible then to lead others? We're not talking about managing yourself. Managing is when you know what to do and you schedule yourself a time in which to do it. What we're distinguishing here is for us to create a future for ourselves that wasn't going to happen anyway, the fulfillment of which satisfies a concern we have. This is associated with our relationship with others and what it requires for us to be that we are not currently being, or that we are not currently able to access. How is it possible to ask others to take on something that would fulfill a concern that they have that wasn't going to happen anyway, when they don't see themselves, given the way they wound up being, as someone who could fulfill on that future, whether it be their own personal future or a future they created with others that wasn't going to happen anyway. This is where authentic listening comes into play. C. Earhart and others, 2009. This kind of listening is where someone who is speaking is left in a place that whatever they were talking about doesn't have the force or the grip that it had on them before. In this kind of listening, the listener simply listens without judgments, evaluations, listening without the pressure to respond, the pressure we feel to fix something for others, to make it better for others, the idea that something is wrong, which is all too common kind of judgment and evaluation that we listen to others through. If we find ourselves impatient for the speaker to stop speaking so we can respond, that is a hallmark of not listening in this special way. It is incredibly difficult not to fix something for someone, but rather continue to listen to the speaker until everything about that has been said, and there is nothing left to say about that. When that has been accomplished, one has listened to another authentically, and it will leave them unburdened by whatever conversation that was there, which they were caught up in. If this is not done, whatever is stopping them, whatever fear or worry, will continue to erode their performance in the present. It is possible to disappear any conversation, but we don't have any experience of that in our lives, so it is difficult for us to embrace and practice. If at the end of the communication being delivered by the speaker, there's an ebulliency, a levity, even laughter and humor, then the listener has accomplished listening authentically, as the speaker has lightened up, or enlightened, so to speak. Try it. You won't believe it until it happens to you. You have to be willing to keep saying to the speaker, "What else about that?" or "Anything else about that?" until there's nothing left for the speaker to say, all the while suspending your own machinations. And when you get stuck or disempowered, you will need to find someone who will listen to you in exactly the same way. So you will need to coach them so they listen to you without their labyrinth of judgments and evaluations. You will know when they are failing. Then you back up and coach them a little bit more and proceed until there is nothing left for you to say about what you are dealing with, and the future is not clouded with any concern that almost certainly came from some past or some way you wound up being.